And we're going to start off now with a huge story for Doncaster, the reopening of Doncaster Sheffield Airport in Finningley. So we're going to get into the topic with the candidates here today, but first we're just going to remind ourselves of where we're at with the airport. Our reporter Santi Palmer is explaining for us.
Doncaster Sheffield Airport opened in April 2005 and once served a host of destinations, including Berlin, Dubrovnik, Paris, Alicante and New York. However, in November 2022, all flights were grounded when the owners at the time, Peel Group, said it was no longer financially viable and mothballed the site. Since then, there's been an extensive campaign by politicians of all parties to get the airport reopened. South Yorkshire Mayor Oliver Coppard says reopening the airport would support 5,000 jobs, boost the economy by £5 billion and provide wider benefits of £2 billion by 2050. There was good news in January this year when Munich Airport International was announced as a new operator. Scheduled to reopen in spring 2026, Munich Airport International will provide operational and management services, whilst Fly Doncaster, a company set up by the council, will run it. Chancellor Rachel Reeves says the government would back the reopening of the airport as South Yorkshire Airport City, and it's been a key election issue. But what do voters in Doncaster think?
I don't fly myself, but it is a big asset. And quite honestly, I don't see why it was closed myself. And the sooner the better it opens myself. You know, there's a lot of people missed it, and it is a good thing.
Please get it open. Because me, for a start, it's an easy, it's an easy way for me to get away. And I just think it brings jobs to Doncaster. And it's something, again, being proud of things where you live. I mean, we've just become a city, haven't we? But not much of a city to come to, is it, really?
Thank you very much, Santi. So it seems that a lot of people are in agreement with the airport reopening. Why has it taken so long? Ros, I'm going to ask you that question.
It's taken so long because we've got to go through all the necessary procedures to go out and get people to come and want to open our airport. It's getting the funding together in order to deliver, but more importantly, it's ensuring that we know we've got the right schemes going forward. We've actually ensured that we can show a viable airport. Once it's opened, we'll have a 9-to-1 rate of return. That is superb. This is actually showing that money will be coming back with investment made now over the medium to long term.
Frank, can I ask you, so the airport wasn't financially viable back in 2022. How can we make sure we get it to thrive this time?
Well, first of all, with the airport, we've got to drop the political parties infighting over it. I mean, I'm certain the airport will open, no matter which candidate gets in the airport, will we open. But not all the candidates, there's only one candidate that knows the financial situation on the airport, and that is the current mayor. I mean, I've seen, prime example, one of the last council meetings, the Conservative group on the council asking all kinds of different questions about these loans, about money, what had been given in loans to Peel Holdings and so on. And the Labour administration in Doncaster didn't answer any of the questions. They said you have to go to so-and-so, and now isn't the appropriate time, they said at the meeting.
So we've got a Conservative representative here. Nick, do you want to respond to what just said from Frank?
Yes, I was right. The Conservative Council asked many questions at the last council meeting, and they were not answered. And the number one question that we need to ask is why did this current mayor let it close in the first place? Peel asked for a £20 million loan to get the airport to its critical mass from 1.5 million to 2.5 million passengers. And I believe due to net zero, this mayor didn't come forward, didn't actually pin down the South Yorkshire Mayoral Combined Authority for that £20 million grant. Then Peel Holdings came back and said, OK, you're not going to give us a grant for it, but will you give us a loan for it? And then this was supposedly passed off locally, but again went to the South Yorkshire Mayor, and it never even made the final meeting. And this Mayor stood by and let that meeting happen without that £20 million loan being signed off. And then obviously we had a change of mayor because it was around May time, and obviously we'd just gone through COVID and it was a difficult time for the airport. But when an airport is been struggling and it's not had the support from the local authority or from the combined authority whose responsibility it was for that airport, then that's what happened. And now we're in a position now where it was going to cost £20 million to have a seat at the board and have 20% of the airport. That's what Peel offered. Now it's going to cost £145 million to get that airport open. And that is all Doncaster people's money as well.
Let's let Ross respond to that then before I ask you what you do then, what you would have done differently. And we need to look forward, don't we? Looking back is not really good for us.
People need to know what's happened in the past.
Absolutely, but we need to look forward as well.
I was actually one of the co-chairs that actually approved the £20 million loan going to the MCA board. The MCA board then do due diligence with the companies who was recommending it, and the MCA board then said they needed more information on Peel. We then offered monies to keep the airport open to get someone else to take over. That wasn't taken up. We actually fought, and I fought the airport right the way through by pushing forward to get the monies. Peel didn't come forward with the right information required, and due diligence is always required when money is being given out. Our airport is the most important thing that will deliver jobs and growth for Doncaster. I've never sat back. I've been the one spearheading this to get it reopened, and I believe I'm the one that will get it over the line. And we'll see aircraft flying again from Doncaster, which is the right thing, jobs and growth, and a return of 9 to 1.
Ross Jones from Labour. You're making me feel more like Alan Sugar here because I feel like I need to fire one of you and you all giving me a good gaze why I shouldn't. Can we just go back and talk a bit about moving from here with the airport and how we can make it economically viable? Nick?
Well, this town has suffered terribly with party politics. It has for 50 years, and I've said the country as a whole is now suffering what Doncaster has suffered. We've been controlled by Labour, and they play party politics with everything.
Let's look forward.
Well, yeah, well, this is why the people of Doncaster need to look forward. They need a new mayor who will not play party politics. What we've had is, with this, we've had this mayor keep me out of every decision that's been made. We've had this mayor invite mayors from politicians from all around the area, but not invite her own local Conservative councillors to meetings. It's just game after game. It's political scoring, and this city has had enough of it, and times need to change. This mayor must go.
Let's talk about working with South Yorkshire Mayor Oliver Coppard then. In terms of the next steps, things are moving forward, things are going to change. We're talking about the first flights coming out 2026. I heard January mentioned, that would be great. Frank, can I ask you, British Democrat, what would be your first thing to do then? If you were elected, what would you do on the first day to ensure that the airport here worked?
Well, first of all, you've got to open it up to of course, the Mayor of Sheffield. You need to discuss it with him if he's willing to discuss with anyone but Labour, because remember, he's a Labour politician himself, and Labour have got a habit, not just in Doncaster but in South Yorkshire, of just working with their own party.